Welcome back to another video. Last video, we did a minor repair on the boot lid here. Yeah, well, the reason I say minor is just because we needed to get it all lined up so I don't get exhaust fumes coming into the car. So I had to make sure it's sealed up properly. And not just that, I needed to make sure that I could open and close the boot. Anyway, I've ordered another boot lid and also another bumper. Of course, it comes in a different color and it will need to be painted. So since I'm going to have to repaint that whole car, I'm going to also start tackling this ugly fitment that I have. Now, on this side, like I said, it looks okay because it's kind of even. It was forced downwards on that corner there. I'm not sure the paint shop know how to use a heat gun, but this side, don't know what the hell they were thinking. They put it way too far back. It looks horrible. I don't know how they thought that this was okay. So we're gonna start by, the fitment is ugly as well because I've only got 7 JJ wheels, not very wide. I do plan on putting wider wheels on this car. That's why I've got the over fenders, probably like a 10 JJ or something like that, I'm thinking. But for now, I can't afford the wheels. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to install these 60mm spacers. And then from there, what the plan will be is to adjust the over fenders to make it sit nicely. I will probably cut and weld this all over again, make it neat because I don't know what they did here. It's horrible. So yeah, I'll probably cut this and weld it more straighter. Once I get this fitted properly, I will know what height to go to, and then I will cut it and I will put a plate in, weld it. Then I can have this mounted properly. Yeah, everything should look nicer from there. So anyway, too much talking, not enough work. So let's get to it. We're gonna install these wheel spacers and see how it looks, huh?
The next day.
I had to stop recording because the other day when I was hitting the spacers, they started doing the fogging. For people who don't know what fogging is, releasing a big pile of smoke to get rid of all the mosquitoes, because in this country, very humid country, mosquitoes tend to breed. There's so many of them. So anyway, the whole workshop got smoked up, so I couldn't record anymore because you couldn't see anything. But anyway, we have got the spacers fitted, as you can see. Now the wheels have a bit more poke, which I like. Sits out a bit further out now on both sides. But now you can really see how bad the fitment of the wheel arches are. I don't know how I didn't notice that before, but I'm gonna fix it. Anyway, what the plan is now is I'm going to remove the over fender, adjust it. I want to lower it a bit. So I kind of want it to sit right here. And not just that, I've been driving it as well a little bit with the wheel sitting like this, and it's already touching the top of the wheel arch. So once I get these fitted, I'm gonna start cutting the quarter panels. I'm gonna start cutting them, making it so then it doesn't scrape anymore. Have this sitting nicely. That's the plan. So we're gonna start with this. I'm gonna make a cut here so that I can lower it a bit more and then adjust it properly. I'm not sure if I mentioned as well, I've also got a new bumper coming and a new boot lid, and yeah, we're going to fix those wheel arch. So let's talk in and more work. Mention that I never really looked at this before because let's just say I trusted the paint shop that did this. Anyway, now I'm seeing that the reason that there's a little indentation on the over fenders here is because all this section is going inwards. The hell are they doing? Anyway, as you can see how bad this is, how badly it's done. Here is where it was scraping, so every time I go over a bump it would scrape. They just cut the bumper. There is a proper way of doing this type of stuff. First of all, you fit the over fenders where you want them, where it looks good, and then everything else you cut according to fenders, alright? For example, here, the over fenders have to line up a bit more forward, then you cut this and you line this up with the over fender. Same with the bumper, you line it up, you cut it, but not like this. For example, you would have the edge like this, and you want to keep that edge. So you will cut it on the inside here and then join it up together. So then you still have that edge. Here, they just cut the bumper off completely. Anyway, what's done is done. I need to fix this. So like I said, we're going to start by getting the over fender fitted properly, make it look good, and then work from there. I think I'm happier with that. I know it still looks a bit high, but then if you come closer, you can actually see it is just underneath. The top of the tire is right there. And not just that, you have to take account for when I have people in the back. Right now I've got an empty fuel tank. So with my weight and let's say the full tank, it's gonna sit a lot lower. So I'm happy with that. I've made some lines on the bottom there and also on the sides there to be able to put over fender back in its position. I'm gonna commit to this. I'm gonna cut the bottom there. I'll fix all the metal around that area because you can see here, you can really see the bulge in right now. I hate the bodywork on this car. It is what it is. We're working with it. We're stuck with it. So, using it to make it better. So good news, I didn't have to cut the opposite side, so I still have a mounting screw available for me, which is good news. I only had to cut this side, just that much, and it's sitting exactly where I wanted to sit. Now, like I said, this is still looking a bit bent inwards because this whole panel is sunken in. Yeah, I had to drill a couple of new holes. As you can see here, I still have a bit of a poke area here, which I will address later. Of course, when we start doing the bodywork on this car. From the looks of it, it's dropped about 2 centimeters down, which is nice. And it's sitting more evenly on both sides of the wheel. So yeah, all right, I'm gonna continue drilling the other screws, then do the other side. And then after all that, we're gonna start marking on the inside of where we're gonna cut it because we need to get some more wheel clearance. So then when we go over big heavy bumps, it won't scrape again. So anyway, let me finish drilling those holes. Here we go. Look at this side. This side was way off. Now I measured from the top to here on the other side, and it's exactly 20.5 millimeters. And I measured the back here from here to here, which is 4 centimeters on the other side. And this, I don't know, it was like 7 centimeters before. And now the front here is at 5 centimeters. On the other side, it's only 3 centimeters, 3 to 4 centimeters. So what I'll have to do is I'll screw the back on first, since all of this is at the right height and everything. I'm gonna screw the top first, make sure this is still within the 20.5 centimeters, already falling down a little bit, and then I'll start screwing the back. And then this side, I'm gonna have to kind of pull it in a little bit to make it only 3 centimeters. So that's the plan for this side. I'll get that done and start recording again soon, huh? And that looks like shit. This side is just, it's cut so damn short. I'm gonna have to fix this. Lucky it's fiberglass, so I can just cut it along here, move it forward, refill it with fiberglass, fill this section in, and then that should be done. But I'll probably do that when I get the new bumper. Or maybe you can still do it now. So we'll see. But anyway, the ground to the top of the fender, sorry, the bottom of the fender clearance is the same. Top to the bottom here, we're a little bit off, as you can see. Should be okay for now. It looks like crap, man. Oh my God. Lucky it's only the beginning stages of doing this. The other side, yeah, it looks not perfect. What can you do, huh? You can't win everything in one go, huh? So I'm going to put a line all on the inside, along here, as high as I can get it. Then I'll remove the over fender again, and I'm gonna cut that section out. I'm gonna re-weld it and do it properly. While I'm at it, when I cut it there, I'm probably gonna pull this section out and then get the metal to actually pull it back out and hold it in position. You can tell how much body filler they had beginning to crack. And then this here is all bubbling up. And this is cracked here as well. So all of this will have to get redone, repainted. But at least I'm going to have it fixed for the paint shop to do. I think that's all I have time for today. Like I said, I only have a couple of hours on the weekends to do this type of work. We're going to continue on maybe next week. It really looks like crap. And my wife is going to hate it. I mean, she already hates how rough the car rides because, like I said, I put solid engine mounts and she's not happy. If you guys don't know the history, this is actually my wife's first ever car. So she's got very sentimental value for it. And of course, when we had a baby, we had to buy her a new car. And I'm stuck with the Satria. I don't mind, all right? Take note of that. I do not mind because these things, they handle amazing. I'm gonna fix it up, make it more comfortable for me to drive. And this is why I'm doing all this. Yeah, anyway, that's it for today. And I'll check back with you guys next week.
1 week later.
New day. Let's get to it. We're going to start removing the over fenders, start cutting into the metal. See if we can stop the scraping from happening because every time I go over a speed bump, it just scrapes and it's annoying. I'm not sure how much you saw on that video, but as soon as I made the cut here, all of this was relieved and it popped out straight away. So this is probably more straighter now. You can see the cut and welding that they did. So how I measured this as well is rested my finger on the tire and then I just followed the line using the pen, and yeah, kept it all as even as I can. Now what I'm going to do is remove the wheel, start tapping it up, clearing all that up. Once I get it up, see if I need to make a new piece of this because this is gone. I mean, look at this. They welded it together but didn't do any prep work, so everything was rusty from the inside. Look at this. This is how much body filler they were using. It's no wonder it was already beginning to crack. I'll remove the wheel and then we'll continue on. still got a lot of a gap to pull out. So obviously I need to pull out the middle part here because that's the one that's going inwards, and also the top here. So I'll pull all that out, we'll weld it together. So here we go. Hammering in a line or whatever, it's gonna take a while, so I'm gonna get that done and then record afterwards. So here we go. As you can see now, I've reached this section here, so I can pretty much close this area up, and I know this part of the panel is untouched. I know that the over fender will fit nicely, but all of this part I still need to continue stretching, and it looks like I'm going to be a few centimeters short. What I'm going to do is now is just tack weld this area, close it off, leave it tight, and then just continue to stretch this middle. And then once I have this middle stretched and flat enough so I can add an extension to it, then I will fit the over fender again and make sure it's sitting nice and flush along the body. And when I do that, I'm just going to weld another piece of metal extended, and then I'll be pulling it out at the same time, so then the over fender sits flat, and then this will be nice and straight. That's the plan. I'll start by welding this, and then I'll continue to stretch this. I'm gonna continue tack welding, and then I'll start recording again, yeah? Because I need to reserve my battery. I've reached a point where the metal is already falling behind the quarter panel. So I'm gonna have to start cutting up some metal and start extending this bottom part. So then I can start also pulling this section out, and I can weld it together, and then it'll be a nice straight panel. Do that and then start recording again, huh? So here we go. See, just by pulling the metal a little bit, I've managed to close up that gap a lot. Much better. Happy with that. All right, let's continue on. All right, as we can see now, I welded that plate just to fill in the gap, and of course I extended it out more so then I can do a nice weld over the top and also a weld on over the bottom. Cut the excess. Yeah, since now it's all in place, I'm gonna start tapping all this up, closing this up, weld all of this bit by bit. Probably need to add another piece here because there's still a fair bit of a gap. It's gonna look good. Can't wait. Right, I have finished welding up the whole new panel, or the new piece, sorry, and then closed off this section. Now what I'm going to do is grind it all down, make it look a bit smoother. If there's any holes, I will weld them up. I also welded up the old mounting holes that they had. Fortunate, but this made the metal shrink a bit, so now I've got another wobble again. But it's okay, when I pull the interior out, I'm gonna panel beat it out and it should come even again. What I'm going to do now is come across and just cut all of this off, grind it down, make it look smooth, and that should be it. Let's get that done and continue on. And there we have it. I welded it all along the inside. Everything else looks okay. Grinded down these other holes that I welded up already as well. I just don't know what to do about this because the bulge makes it ugly. Yeah, we'll see. Anyway, so yeah, I'll sand this down and I'll put some seam sealer all around here and also all along here. Let that dry up, put some primer over the top, call this side done. Now the other side is just going to be a repetition of this side, so I'm not going to record that. I'll get this done and then I'll show you what it looks like in the end. Of course, I have to wait till this dries. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it like that for tonight. Yeah, this side should be good. I mean, of course, we've got all these scratches and all these things that still need to be done, but that will be done with the bodywork. For now, I'm happy with this. Get the other side done, and then I'll continue recording after that. you a closer look of how it looks now. As you can see, the gap is so much tighter now. Of course, I still have this section here, but it looks like because they put too much body filler. And like I said, I think it shrunk because I welded the holes that were here. When you heat metal up, it'll shrink. Eventually, I will pull the inside trim out and just tap this section out, even it out, and then we should be good. Back part still has a bit of a gap because this bumper sits out a bit. Yeah, I'll fix that eventually. Not too fussed about it. I'm happy with that. Next week, we'll tackle this side and get all of that cut out as well. And then we'll extend this little section right here. So then it matches up with this and then it'll all look even. That's it. As you can see, I put some primer on the inside so then the body doesn't rust because it was just bare metal. Now that the seam sealer already dried up, I can paint over it. Use the drill and grind it down some of the surface rust that was already building up. Spray some primer on it, over fender back in, and she's good to go. Now, of course, it still needs a lot of body work. The whole car has to be redone again. So this is another patch up until we get the full car painted again. Yeah, so prevent from rusting, prevent from any more damage happening. Yeah, next will be the other side, but it's just a repetition of what I've done on this side, so I'm not going to bother recording that because you don't want to see the same thing twice, right? Yeah, and that's it. So thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe and leave me a comment. Tell me what you think about this. Does it look good? Does it look just as bad as before? Is it getting better slowly? I don't know. You tell me what you think. Anyway, that's all. See you guys.